ignoring yourself doesn't make you selfless. So it can make the goal harder to reach.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast where we reflect on our recent experience with the Harvard Everest simulation. My name is Sharifah, and I'm joined by my amazing team members, the devoted environmentalist, Vic, the adaptive leader, Ain, the empathetic physician, Diana, and the strategic marathoner, Tash. Overall, it was a really fun and engaging experience. I personally enjoyed it a lot, and I think it gave all of us a good mix of excitement and challenge. Okay, our whole team successfully made it up to base camp 4, which was a great milestone. From there, we pushed on towards the summit. Okay, two of us made it. Okay, all the way, but unfortunately, three of our teammates had to be rescued during the final stretch. One of the main challenges we faced during the simulation was the limited time. We had only 6 days to reach the summit. That created a lot of pressure on our planning and decision making. On top of that, while we had a shared group goal to summit safely together, each of us also had our own individual goals that sometimes conflicted with the team priorities. For example, I was the photographer and I had to stay an extra night at either base camp 1 or 2 to take photos, while our environmentalists needed to spend additional time at base camp 4 to carry out the cleanup. Okay, these individual goals came with added risks. We had to constantly weigh up the impact on each team member's health, manage our limited supply of medications, and consider how the weather might change from day to day. In terms of team dynamics, communication and coordination were crucial. Every decision we made, whether to rest, move to the next camp, or use our resources, had to be discussed as a team. Okay, there were moments of disagreement, okay, especially when individual goals didn't align with the group safety or schedule, but we learned to listen to each other, adjust our plans based on real-time updates, and support one another when health levels started dropping. We had to strike a balance between being assertive and being flexible, and that really tested our teamwork. Despite the tough moments, I think our ability to stay connected and adapt to changing situations played a big role in helping at least some of us reach the summit, okay, and ensuring that those who couldn't were still rescued safely. No one died. Okay, how about you, Diana? What are your thoughts on the simulation?
So I think okay, thank you, Shah. So I think during the simulation, it gave me a lot of lessons. So and I also had a moment of realization that when making decisions, we often focus more on our own goals. And for me, as a physician, because I'm the one who carry all the meds and I need to take care of everyone, I need to ensure that everyone is healthy, no one died during the journey, right? So that time I realized that actually I focus too much on other teams rather than focusing for myself only. So I end up being the one who didn't reach the summit because I got frostbite.
You
Yeah,
sacrificed yourself.
yeah. That case, from that case, I think I learned that ignoring yourself doesn't make you selfless. So it can make the goal harder to reach. So we need to consider ourselves as well. So balance is the key. So at the same time, we need to consider other risks as well with the limited resources. So a good leader consider everyone, include their own limits, capacity, and well-being. And I also learned another lessons. Never overestimate what your team or even you alone can do without understanding the context, because um during the journey the weather sometimes like go more extreme, right? Something like that, and we overestimate our capability during the journey. So that external factors that we hadn't accounted for, like timing, also resources limitations, and up blocking our progress. So I think the risk management we need to consider more during the journey. Do you have any other thoughts? Tash?
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Diana. So I didn't reach the summit as well. So actually, I particularly need to highlight about the decision making because my task was to predict the weather at each camp. So each camp, I need to predict the weather correctly so that it will determine that our what our members need, whether will have a frostbite or anything, any consequences. So I did a wrong prediction, whereas I was supposed to predict the weather for Camp 4, but then I predicted the weather for Camp 3. So I made a wrong decision. But then what I learned is decision making under pressure does not need to be correct all the time. All right. So sometimes we make the right decision, sometimes we make the wrong decision. But what is most right is even make a wrong decision, we need to adapt to it fast, then we need to rectify it fast, which our team managed to do it. Yeah. So even though I did a wrong mistake by predicting the weather, so the next action is we sit down, we talk, and we read the dive thing. So that's what we should do. And it's always not about anticipating what could go wrong. We also need to prepare a flexible solution when things do get wrong. So we always sit down, we always think about what solution can be done, and we never talk about what things that we did wrong. So that's a good thing about us.
Okay, so hi, I'm the leader for this whole team expedition to the Everest. So I'll say more about the decision making part. So in our simulation, each team do have their own personal goal as well as their overall team's goal. So when it comes to making decision, right, I try to foster a very inclusive environment whereby everyone has their say and everyone are very much encouraged to give their input. But however, when it comes to tough moment where someone's goal might be conflicting with the rest, it ends up to me as a leader to make the tough final call. So like whereby there's these instances whether or not to stay at a certain camp or whether or not to move on. So sometimes it can be very hard, but as a leader, I need to focus more on the overall goal whereby we need to reach to the summit. Everyone in one piece, no one left behind. And another thing I would say when it comes to risk management, the whole setting itself is very extreme. The weather is unclear, and then someone got frostbite, someone was not healthy, but there was a certain extent of risk that need to be taken in order to achieve our overall goal. So that is something also I have to take and be responsible of as a team leader.
So now to speak on the balancing of personal goals and also the team goals, right? So as an environmentalist, my individual goal was to spend an extra day at Camp 4 to clean up the mountain, for example, removing the old tanks gear and oxygen canister. That's why I consistently encourage the team to look at the bigger picture, to make a sustainable decision, consider the long-term environmental impact, not just the submitting. So when the team chose to stay at Camp 1 for photo instead, so I accepted the decision and adjusted my plan to support the group. It reminded me that sometimes teamwork means putting aside your personal goals for the sake of unity of our team. But I'm still proud of myself though, because I had the opportunity to advocate for the sustainability and raise awareness, because based on real data, if you know, 26,000 pounds of waste was left on Everest. So something that we should all think about beyond just reaching the top. Beside that, I was silently dealing with the concern about my health during the expedition, because I have experienced AMS in my past expedition, and I choose not to share it at first because I didn't want to appear weak or risk being asked to step back. That's my rule. But on day 3, if you guys remember, I had asthma attack, which forced me to open up. And thanks to Diana, who provided me with the inhaler just at the right time, I was able to recover and continue the climb. So that moment taught me that balancing personal and team goal isn't just about changing the plans, it also about knowing when to speak up the truth. And I think leadership meaning trusting your team, being honest when it matters, and also understanding that vulnerability is not about weakness, it's about but a responsibility that we need to share as a team. Yeah.
Yeah, great guys. I think we shared a lot of things. So as a reflection, let's just conclude what we have learned so far. So one of the critical insight is the recognizing the risk of being overly optimistic. I think once everybody reached Camp 4, so my health was weak. I think Diana's Vicky, every was weak. Then we all was like, okay, my health is weak, I still can go it. Okay, we all can reach the summit. All right, never mind. We just can go to summit. Even though we have the supplies for the medical medicines, the AMLs, all those things, we all be like, okay, we can do it. We just go do it. Then ended up only the Ain and Salwa reached the summit, and three of us got rescued. So even though our initial enthusiasm is high, we always need to assess our health conditions and resource limitation. All right, going forward, we will adopt to a more balanced approach, double checking our assumptions carefully before we need to make a critical decision. I think this all we need to learn from the stimulation. Right. So the next thing is, I think like Vicky elaborated earlier, we need to make as an individual we need to make sacrifices to for a bigger picture. All right, individual objectives occasionally conflicted with our collective goal to of reaching the summit safely. All right, like Salva have her own goals, Vicky have his own goals, but then our group goal is to reach the summit safely. All right, that was our main goal. So realizing that prioritizing team objectives could require personal sacrifices help us to navigate the conflicts better. So we just need to open up and talk freely, and sometimes we just need to make a sacrifice to achieve our bigger picture. Right. So and also the importance of open communication, which we did very greatly during the stimulation. So even though we have some weakness which we should not have to disclose it, we still openly talk about it, and make a decision out of it. So that's a very good thing. Is of course open communication is very important, it's very essential for decision making. All right, so instead of making a wrong decision by just keeping everything to yourself, you just open up so your team can understand your situation, then all of us can make a decision which is workable for everyone. All right, so finally is the importance of decisiveness and resilience. So once the decision was made collectively as a team, is crucial for all the members to commit and follow through. All right, even some have different perspectives initially. So which means that when we was making a decision, like Salva told, okay, we need to stay at the base one. All right, Vicky told, no, we stay for base one, we cannot stay at base four, camp four, sorry. So we need to stay at camp four. So one then we had some discussion, some strong discussion ongoing, then we made a decision telling that okay, we should stay at camp one and not camp four. But we all listen, to it, we all listen as a team, then we just go as per the discussion. So this is what very important during in a team. So once we open up and the decision is made, so once the decision is made, everybody should be adhere to the decision and we just follow the decision. All right. Right, thank you guys. I think this is what we learn as a team during the stimulation. Anything you guys gonna add? Yeah, all right, sure.
So when Tash mentioned, right, we need to speak up when it's right moment. I think that's applicable in our normal day-to-day life as well, in workplace especially, because there's some part of fear that always has within ourselves that if we ask this, do we look stupid in others' eyes, right? So that's the fear that always I had. So sometimes when going through that situation, let's say we open up and ask for something, I think we will get the best decision out of it. Yeah, there's something I would like to add. Any other point? So thank you.